Awesome. Glad you are here. And if you're just jumping online, first of all, my name is Keith Barker. If we haven't met, hello. It's great to have you here. The goal for me and this channel is to assist you with giving you tips and tools like quizzes that can help get you your CCNA. Or if you're already a CCNA and you're beyond that, this is a great opportunity to come back, help the community, have some fun, remember how those things work. Everybody is welcome here. Super glad to have you. And we're almost to 100 players. All right. Submit saying, start please. We will be starting in just a few moments. We'll cut it out. We'll start at 100. Whoa, 99. And the 100th player is? Boom. Shining Squid. Welcome, welcome. Also, I want to give a shout out. Last week it was Matt M, who was the champion of the game last week. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm from Canada. Can I take this time late? Can I take this later today? I am from Canada. What I often do is I often take this quiz that we did live, and it's going to be recorded, so you can watch it online anytime you want. Pause it and take your time with the questions. That works. I also will send out on social. In fact, I'll do it today based on your request. I'll send out a self-paced version as well, where it's still timed. You take it at your own pace, plays the music, and give you an opportunity to practice it there too. So if you can't stay for the whole quiz today, that's okay. You can take it later. But just be aware that once you see the questions, and like this morning, I had a few of the moderators on Discord, which will be in Discord right after this quiz. And I had a few moderators. There was Trevor, and there was Randall, and there was Donald, and there was Kelvin. We went through it a couple times just to, iron out a couple rough spots. So once you've seen the questions once, it's not as helpful to make sure you really understand the technology. So the first time you see it, it's going to be the best. And with that, we are going to start. If you are joining after the fact, the game link will be available during the game. At least that's my intent. All right, and here we go. Layer 2 security, get your game on. 3, 2, 1. The first question, these are randomized, by the way. First question is, which of the following are called out explicitly in the CCNA Blueprint? Now, one question might be, why do I care about the wording? Recognize or describe or explain or configure. If you see a task on the blueprint that says configure, that means they're going to test you at that level. So if they say describe something or explain something or understand something, they won't say understand. But if they say describe or recognize or explain, it's going to be a lighter level of understanding than configure. In the blueprint, it says configure layer 2 security features. That means they're going to ask you questions about how does it work? And if you've practiced or labbed it up, you'll have a better understanding of that. So hands-on practice with Packet Tracer is a great way to start. And we got lots of labs on the Keith Barker channel as well. All right, let's see who's on the leaderboard. Speedy Rabbit. Nice. Great call out to you, Speedy Rabbit. Proud of you. Also, I want to share with you an inside tip. This is a jar full of letters. And I got this because my wife wants to encourage me to articulate so everybody can hear. And I sometimes get excited, and I forget to articulate. So I'm going to keep this right here so I can remind myself to be heard. I'm so grateful that you're here. Time is very valuable. I'm thankful for yours. Okay, multiple choice or multiple select. A non-DHCP client on this port cannot access the network. So sad. Which two solutions, either one, could solve this problem? All right. I would encourage you, my friend, when you see 90 seconds on the clock, take a breath and just take time to go through the answer. So a non-DHCP client on this port cannot access the network. Which two solutions could solve this? Well, let's take a look at this port. This port is an access port in VLAN 675. ARP inspection is enabled for VLAN 600 through 800. So if ARP is going to work on this port, there has to be a binding entry for that client. So to do that, oops, I clicked on that and expand that. So if the client was a DHCP client and if DHCP snooping was enabled, that would bind or create that binding table so that ARPs would be allowed from that client. The other option is to configure an ARP access control list, which hard codes and says, this client's IP address is this client's layer 2 address. And because it's available, the ARP inspection can say, yep, it matches. Those ARP messages are allowed. So great job. That's how it works. Big part of layer 2 security. Let's take a look at the podium. And amusing lion, 2610. Nice work. So I would say it's more important to get the answer right and consider it than just to rush in, although you do get a few more points for getting it right quickly. Okay, question number 3 is a poll. I'm curious. Regarding upcoming quizzes, which happen every Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, what would you like to see? Now, if you like all of them, you put all of them. If you have like 1 or 2 that are your favorites, I am curious. I would love to know. I want to give you what you need and want as far as tools to get your CCNA. All right, IPv6, getting some love. IPv6, nice. And then in second place, inter-switch connectivity with things like trunking. All right. And then not too far behind that, the others. Thank you for that feedback. Let's continue. Here's the next question. I'll let you read it. Four, 3, 2, 1. All right, port security indeed. An access point connects to the network. It's going to build a CAPWAP tunnel between itself and the controller if it's in autonomous mode. Excuse me, if it's in lightweight access point mode. And as a result, it really only needs its own IP addresses there, or MAC address there. So port security would be a good step in the right direction. Okay, next question. Lovely tiger, way to go. Here it is. What's your favorite layer 2 security feature? I'm curious. Go ahead and type in an answer. I think they give you up to 20 characters. Just pick one. Port security for the win. All right, that's everybody's favorite. Look how the majority is port security, DHCP snooping, and then dynamic ARP inspection. Little teeny speck down there. All right, well, those are the big 3. When you study for that section of the blueprint, which again is 5.7, configure layer 2 security features, you want to pay equal attention to DHCP snooping, dynamic ARP inspection, and port security. Thank you for that feedback. Multiple select. Which of the following are true regarding this output? Four, three, two, one. Okay. Wow. Lots of answers there. Lots of thinking required. Let's talk about an IP phone for a minute. Phones often work better if you have a handset too, but this is an IP phone. And the way it would work would be we'd connect from this phone to a switch, which is hopefully doing power over Ethernet so it can power this thing. And then from this phone, we have a built-in Ethernet jack that we can go to our computer. So effectively, our computer is connected to the switch on this phone, which is then connected over to the switch. Get that out of the way. So in this scenario, we have a voice VLAN and the normal access VLAN. And the way that we're differentiating the traffic that's leaving this phone, like, hey, is this frame from the computer or is this frame from the telephone? We're using trunking. So effectively, there is trunking happening on this port. We also have port security enabled, which is important. And we've specified a maximum number of MAC addresses that can be learned on the access VLAN, the data VLAN, and also on the voice VLAN. Then we also have MAC address sticky, which means that once a MAC address is learned, it is put in the running config. So if you did a WR or copy run start, it would also be in the startup config if you wanted it. Hey, we even have some spanning tree magic here with PortFast. All right, and let me close that out and let me maximize that again. So nice work. At the top of the heap, lovely tiger. Wow, doing great. Okay, here we go. Question number 7. What is the most frequent mistake when configuring port security? If you've done the labs, and I hope you have, you've made this mistake probably at least a couple times. Like, why isn't this working? If you haven't, that's awesome. Or if you haven't because you haven't labbed it up yet, check out the check out the labs I have in Packet Tracer, which is free, that I have videos for on my YouTube channel. I'd love to have you have the practice. All right, enabling it is like I configured the violation action. I configured the maximum MAC addresses. I've typed in port security lots of times, but you have to actually type in the port security command by itself to enable the feature, and that's the one that people forget all the time. All right, top of the heap is polite owl. Nice. Okay, question number 8. Multiple select. Which of the following are defaults for port security? Okay, the 3 that are highlighted are indeed the defaults. Fantastic. Moving forward. At the top, bold lemur. Boy, it's going to be a fight. Here we go. Got a few left. DHCP is failing for a device in VLAN 55. The DHCP server is in the same VLAN on another switch. What do we need to do? Make the trunk a trusted port. 60 went that direction, which is a great way to go. Let's just talk for a moment about why. So I see that DHCP Snooping is enabled for VLAN 55. And based on this 2/0/5 gigabit Ethernet, it appears to be configured as a trunk. Well, I also noticed that this is switch number 1. So if the DHCP server on switch number 2, I didn't do a show CDP neighbor, but I'm assuming it's across this trunk. So if we want those DHCP messages from the server to come in off on this trunk from switch 2, this port has to be trusted. And that is what is needed here. And if I feel pretty pleased about the way I've abstracted these just a little bit. So instead of just asking, like, what does DHCP relay do or IP helper do, to put it in a context that's going to be very familiar if you're going to take a test on this. Because Cisco is not going to ask a lot of direct questions like, what is the port for UDP? What is the port for NTP? UDP 123. It's not going to be like that. It'll be something more they have to intuit or infer based on how you know it works. So great job for 60 answers on the correct one. Let's take a look at the next. We've got Bold Lemur is at the top of the stack, and Golden Horse has had the highest streak of 6. Watch out, Bold Lemur. He's on your tail, he or she. All right, question 10 of 16. Which baseline configs can protect unused layer 2 switch ports? So there are some good security measures. If we only had to pick 3 from this list, those would be it. LLDP is not going to be enabled by default on most gear anyway, so by default. So there you have it. Also, I noticed in some of the chats, the messages that I peek at occasionally is that if you see a question like, wait, why is that? Why? Make a note, come back to the video later, watch the question again, and that can be a perfect point to research and lab it up. If something doesn't, like, why would that be true? Take a moment, join us in Discord, which is going to be right after this in the voice chat room, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about and discuss how this works and why this would be true. And in a discussion like that, lots of things can be learned. And that's one of the intents of this channel, is give you tips and tools so you can get your CCNA, including clarification on why things work the way they do. Bold Lemur, 10,701 points. Question 11 of 16. Oh, this is kind of a cheap.
Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is
Google
Keith
this,
Parker.
or
If
you
you are
could
considering
go to YouTube.
about
You
getting
got
your
25
Cisco
seconds.
CCNA, the 200-301 certification, but have some concerns or questions like, how do I start, or what should I study? This video is for you. In this video, I'm going to share with you the 3 major things that you need to do in getting your CCNA. And for those of you who are new to the channel, if we haven't been introduced yet, my name is Keith.
All right, that was just a little fun, mostly for me, just keeping it fun. I also want to thank everybody who's watched. I have a goal that I would like to help 1 million people in their journey towards CCNA, starting of October of 2019, last year. And I think we can do it. So if you know people who are studying for the CCNA and want a little bit of reinforcement or a community or some extra oomph for whatever they're using for their main course of study, send them our way. Help them out. And I would love to have this channel impact, and the Discord server impact the lives of 1 million people, just a little bit, and helping them get their certification, because I know what my Cisco certification did for me when I started my journey back in the 90s. Amazing. So CCNA first, then CCNP, then CCIE, and then other vendors and products beyond. So totally worth it. Share the love. Let's get these people helped, and that's our goal. Amusing Lion takes the lead with 11,554 points. A few questions left. Which of the following is true regarding this port? Also, a shout out to Shaba for passing their CCNA. Congrats. All right. Ever wish you could take back an answer? I know I do. I feel that way sometimes. Let's take a look at this. We have 26 that were correct. ARP traffic won't be inspected. You recall the number one mistake that most people make when they are configuring port security for the first time? It's sitting on this screen. It's not enabled. So any of the restrictions regarding the maximum number or the violation or anything else regarding port security, it's not going to be used because switch port-security, enter, wasn't done. So that leaves a few other options. Yeah, so basically ARP traffic won't be inspected. And that's because it's an IP ARP inspected trusted port for ARP inspection. All right, a little bit tricky, but useful for education. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. And that's not a bad attitude to take. All right, amusing line. Now, a couple of these questions have polls, which there's no points for. So there's a few questions left, no pressure, but some of these are not going to have points to them. So the ones that do have points really matter. Let's go for the win and go for the learning and go for the fun. Question 13. Which would best prevent DNS and default gateway misinformation? And I agree with the 60 people who said DHCP snooping. Part of that could be because I wrote these questions. But if we do DHCP snooping, we're going to prevent an unauthorized DHCP server from handing out IP addresses and options, including which DNS server to use or what the default gateway is. And that's why DHCP snooping would be the best at helping to, from these listed here, preventing DNS and default gateway misinformation. All right, amusing lion at top of the heap, crushing it. Question 14. I'll let you read it. Enjoy. All right, so confession here. I was looking at this question. And I was thinking, what? Because I thought I remembered what the answer was without really looking at it. It's like, what? So it took a minute, and I wrote that question. So DHCP relay needs to be enabled on that interface so it can get the DHCP discover, package it up, ship it over to the real DHCP server, get the response back, and relay it back. Fantastic. IP helper. That's the equivalent. All right, and question 15 of 16. I think this is a no-pointer, but I am curious. Let me know. When are you taking your CCNA exam? Have you already taken it? In 3 months? 3 to 6 months? Or 6 months or longer? Okay, got a lot okay, a lot have it, fantastic. A lot within 3 months, good. Good. So wherever you are in your CCNA journey, we're glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. I'm so thankful for all of you to participate and have fun and increase our skills in the world of Cisco. It's great stuff. Also, for those of you who are pursuing it within the next 3 months, I have a separate playlist just for the Kahoots. And so if you want to go through, these questions are a really good gauge of the subjects they focus on. Static route, IPv6. So we had one on static routing. Reading a routing table. We have this one on the layer 2 security. One coming up where it's going to be on the trunking, making sure that all works. So please take advantage of those resources on the Keith Barker channel. All right, thank you for that. And last question. Oh, good. This is a points. This is the last one with points. What's true regarding this port? All right, here we go. Last moments. So great job for blue and green, 58 and 68 respectively. Got some people with the port security. Why aren't the port security options valid? It's because it's not enabled on that port. It's like, oh, Keith, you talked about that. Oh, Keith, you already had a quiz on the question on that. Yeah. So if the switch port security is not enabled, none of those things are going to be in force. There's no maximum. There's not going to be a violation action ever because it's never going to be triggered. All right. So great job. Let's go ahead and take a look at the podium. And thank you all for participating. All right, third place, great shark. Also, right after this, we're going to jump into the Discord server and the CCNA voice chat room. If you want to connect with us or just hang out and listen, please feel free. Amusing Lion, nice. And then there's runners up. If you feel like Amusing Lion jumping into Discord and maybe DMing me directly, I'd love to say hi and congratulations. And I appreciate everybody. I think we had over 100 people. I lost count, but over 100 people in the live quiz. And we'll have one every Sunday, Pacific time, just so get the world clock, look at what time zone that is. Pacific time, 11 a.m., and we'll have another Kahoot. So I would also like to get some feedback, if you wouldn't mind taking a moment. Nuts. So take a moment, let me show feedback here, and let me know if you like this, if you got a lot out of it, and your feedback's important. And I'm going to sign off. We'll see you in another live event, including if you want to join us in the Discord server. In this video, there's a link for the free join for the Discord server. And again, we'll be in the CCNA voice chat channel room in just a few minutes. All right, I'd like to thank also the moderators on Discord, the admins on Discord, and also specifically everybody who about an hour and a half ago showed up there as moderators to help me proof this and verify it and iron out a few kinks. So I really appreciate all that support as well. And until I see you next time, happy studies, everybody, and we'll catch you in the next live event.